Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Cam Smith with U Sports Production, coming to you from a Hollywood Park in Victoria, BC. Thanks for joining us today on Saturday, July 18th. Welcome to opening day of the 2026 Little League Minors Provincial Championships, proudly hosted by Beacon Hill Little League. It's opening day where the province's top teams began their quest for a provincial title. In earlier action, Beacon Hill would defeat Lake Hill. That's two hometown teams, and the score was 12-0. On this day, Beacon Hill getting the better of them, and then Langley, they defeated Trout Lake by a score of 12-0. We got a good one there in the nightcap. The Minors Provincials could be Little Mountain, and they're up against Lynn Valley. Let's get right into this one. This should be a good one, folks. And Jeffcoat will get the start today for Little Mountain. And lead off for Lynn Valley is going to be Newton, and he's going to take a walk right away. And that's getting the lead off runner on for Lynn Valley. And then next up to bat is Smeltzer. And Smeltzer looking to get something going here early on with a runner at first. There's the pitch, and he's going to go the opposite way, and that's picked up nicely right there by the first baseman, Kingston, but it moves the runner over to second, and that'll bring up Blair. 2 strikes on him. Oh, and he freezes him. Nice pitch by Jeffcoat. That's for the second out of the inning. And then Moats is going to try and move this runner over. He's up at bat for Lynn Valley, and he takes a nice swing at this one and hits it out in the outfield. Oh, so a little bobble round in third. Runner in to score. And what a run there. Moats loving every minute of that. And that'll bring up Reed with 2 outs. And the ball gets by the catcher and goes to third, and then a swing and a miss. And that's the third out of the inning. And 1 run in early on for Lynn Valley. So we move to the bottom of the first inning. And Blair pitching for Lynn Valley. Tommy at bat. He takes a rip at this one. That goes right over to shortstop and fires over to first for the out. And that's Newton with the arm and the out. And Dylan up next. And he's got 2 strikes on Dylan. And Blair with the pitch and a fastball. That's a heater just on the outside corner. That's for the second out of the inning. And then Blair facing Kingston. And with the 1-2 count, here's another pitch exactly the same. That's some heat right there. That's striking out the bat. Oh, he's got the high kicks going. And that's going on to the top half of the second inning. And we got 2 outs the top of the second inning, and that is O'Brien at the plate. And what a fastball. And that'll take care of the side right there. That's a nice pitch you got right there from Jeffcoat, doing a good job. And as we move to the bottom half of the second inning, that's Blair on the mound. He's facing Jeffcoat. Jeffcoat rips one right over to third, and that's Bobble firing to first. That's not in time. And on at first, that's going to be Jeffcoat. We got a lead runner on base. And then Blair, that's going to get away from him, and that's going to go all the way to the backstop. And Jeffcoat moves over to second. We got a runner in scoring position, and that'll bring up Cohen to the plate. And Cohen, full count on him, runner at second. Oh, and that pitch is just a beauty. That's a little bit of took a little off of that. Next batter is going to be Dante for Little Mountain, and Blair, he's got 2 strikes on him. Oh, and that just bottom falls out of that, and that's for the second out of the inning. And that's a great job here by Blair. Now he's got Sasha, and he's got a 1-2 count, and he blows one by him. He gets that outside corner again, swinging a miss as Blair strikes out the side. And top of the third, that's Norris at the plate, and he's got a Gall's third strike. Jeffcoat doing a good job, and he's getting his props here. That's a great job of pitching. And then Jeffcoat facing Graham. Graham rips this one right back to the pitcher, and I'll tell you what, there goes Jeffcoat again. Jeffcoat over to first, and that's for 2 quick outs in the inning. And then stepping up to the plate is Cohen with the 1-2 count, and a pitch by Jeffcoat, and that's for the strikeout. And that's a great job to end by Little Mountain. 3 up, 3 down. We move to the bottom half of the third inning. And leading off is going to be Miles, and Blair with the pitch, and Miles hits it down the line. But I'll tell you what, that looks like catcher interference, and that's what they're going to have a little talk about it here. Yeah, and that's what they're going to call. And runner goes to first, and we got a leadoff runner on for Little Mountain. And next batter is going to be Nixon. And on a 1-1 count, And Nixon looking to move the runner over, and he lays down a beautiful punt. A little small ball here, out at first. That's a great job. I'll tell you what, we got a runner in scoring position for Little Mountain. And Moats is going to come in relief. Blair doing a great job today for Lynn Valley, saving that arm. But Moats taking control from here on in. And next up to bat, we've got Tyler with one out in the inning, runner at second. And the ball's hit sharply on the ground right over to Newton. Newton picks it up, fires over to first, and that is for the out. That's a great job. Runner over to third. And Ethan up to bat. And he's going to rip this ball. And he lines right out. That's right to Pittman with a great catch. That'll retire the side. Still 1-0 right now for Lynn Valley. Oh, Pittman jacked up as we head to the top of the fourth inning. And Power in the pitch for Little Mountain. And stepping up to the plate, that's Pittman. And Power got 2 strikes on him. And this one's hit. That's a single. And that goes right up the middle. And that's a nice hit right there by Pittman to start things off for Lynn Valley. And Pittman will move over to second on a wild pitch. And then he'll move over to third. Things unraveling a little bit early on here. And then a dangerous hitter stepping up, and that's Newton. And Power with the delivery. And Newton, he's going to hit the ball sharply. Oh, just out of the way of the shortstop. A run will score. And that puts Lynn Valley up 2-0 on a nice single by Newton. And Newton's going to move over to second. And then he moves over to third on a pass ball. And then taking a walk right here. And that's going to be Smelser putting the runners at the corners. And then Power. That's Blair. Blair gets hit in the back. And he's okay, and he moves on. That's going to load the bases up for the cleanup hitter, and that's Moats. And Power with the delivery. Oh, Moats he goes the opposite way. He gets a good chunk of this ball, and that's going to drop in. And a run will score on the play. And base is still loaded, but a run in. Nice piece of hitting there by Moats. And next up will be Reed. And Reed, he's going to hit a shot on the ground. It just gets through the infield. Another run will score. Base is still loaded. And that's going to make the score 4-0 for Lynn Valley. And now O'Brien's at the plate. Power with the delivery. Oh, that gets away from the catcher, and a run will score on the play. But runners at second and third. That's going to be 5-0. And then check out Power here. He's walking the ball back. He's looking at third. He knows that runner's there. He's going after him, but he says, that's enough. Let me go to the mound. And then the runner goes home, and they got him in a pickle, chasing him down. A great job right here by Little Mountain. That's a great job, and that's for the second out of the inning. Just what the doctor ordered. And runner at second, and that's Power. And Power 2 strikes on a batter. And a runner will move over to third. And we got 2 outs, runner at third. And Rogers at the plate. And the pitch. And that's hit right back to Power. Power over to first. And that will retire the side. But not before 3 more runs come in for this team out of Lynn Valley. As we head to the bottom half of the fourth inning, 5-0. And first batter is Julian, and Moats to Julian. Oh, that's picked up nicely right there. That's a beautiful catch by Graham for the first out of the inning. Next up to bat is Tommy, left-handed batter. And out of the stretch, Moats with the delivery. Tommy trying to leg this one out, and he will. His kid's got wheels, and he's at first with 1 out in the inning. Little Mountain trying to get something going on in this fourth inning. Then Dillon up next. Moats with the delivery, and this is a sharp grounder. That's going to be hit right over to Newton. Shoves it over to second. Can't turn the double play, but a great play by Newton. Get it over to second for the lead out. Runner at first. And then after a walk, there's some melee on the bases. And a great job here by Newton. Get over to second. That's for the out. That's the third out of the inning. Had runners left on base. 2 of them stranded. But what a job there by Lynn Valley. And then we had top of the fifth, and there's going to be a walk there to Dixon. And then Norris stepping up to the plate. And Norris is going to get a walk as well. He gets a free pass. We got runners at first and second, no out. And that'll be Dylan. Dylan coming in to pitch now for Little Mountain. Now Graham up to bat. And Graham is going to hit this one sharply. That goes right over to second. Going to walk it him first to go walking himself. And that's going to be for the sure out. And we got runners at second and third with one out in the inning for Coyan. And Dylan with the pitch. Coyan just rips his ball out to left. And Coyan hit that on a rope and picked up by the left fielder and thrown. And 2 runs will score. And Coyan, he's going to be held up to a double. What a hit by Coyan. Timely hit at that. And he goes over to third. And the score now 6-0. That's going to bring up Pittman with the runner at third. And Pittman looking for a little insurance. And Dylan with the delivery, and Pittman, he goes the opposite way. That's a good line shot, and that will score the run and make it 7-0. That's clean living right there for Pittman, who heads over to second on the overthrow. And we got a runner at second with 1 out. And that's going to bring Dylan up to the plate. And 2 strikes on him. Runner at second, and there's the pitch, swing and a miss. Dylan with a great pitch, and that's where this one's gonna end up 7-0. That's basically your ball game. And 2 outs in the 6th inning, and that's Newton comes in, and he's gonna strike out Tommy, and that will end this game. Great job by this team out of Lynn Valley. Little Mountain, they'll be back. You can guarantee that. This was a great game. Just kind of opened up in about the 4th inning. And you got to love it. These 2 competed today, and we'll see what day 2 brings for the Miners Provincial Tournament. Let's get out in the community. Let's support events like this. My name is Cam Smith with U Sports Production. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see one of you.